remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion bequeathed me by will, but poor 1,000 crowns. And as thou sayest, charge my brother on his blessing to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother Jack, he keeps at school, and report speaks goldenly of his profit. For my part, he keeps me rustically at home. He lets me feed with his hinds, and bars me the place of a brother. This is it, Adam, that grieves me. And the spirit of my father, which I think is within me, begins to mutiny against this servitude. I will no longer endure it, though yet I know no wise remedy how to avoid it.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Go apart, Adam, and you shall see how he will shake me up.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing. I am not taught to make anything.
Who are you then, sir?
Marry, sir, I'm helping you to mar that which God made a poor unworthy brother of yours with idleness.
Marry, sir, be better employed, and be not a while. What, boy?
Come, elder brother, you are too young in this.
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the youngest son of Sir Roland de Bois. He was my father, and he is thrice a villain that says such a father begot villains.
Sweet masters, be patient for your father's remembrance. Be at accord.
Let me go, I say.
I will not till I please. You shall hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me good education. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor lottery that my father left me by testament. With that I will go buy my fortune.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? You shall have some part of your will. Now I pray you, leave me.
I will no longer fund you than becomes me for my good.
Get you with him, you old dog.
Is old dog my reward? Most true. I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would have not spoke such a word.
Is that even so? I will physic Uranius, and that give you no 1,000 crowns neither. Was not Charles, the old Duke's wrestler, here to speak with me?
Good morrow to your worship.
Good Mr. Charles, what is the new news at the new court?
There's no news at the court, sir, but the old news. That is, the old Duke is banished by his younger brother, the new Duke, and 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile with him.
Can you tell if Rosalind, the Duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh no, for the Duke's daughter, her cousin, so loves her that she would have followed her exile or have died and stayed behind her.
Where will the old Duke live?
They say he is already in the forest of Arden with the many merry men with him, and there they live like the old Robin Hood of England.
So you wrestle tomorrow before the new Duke?
Marry do I, sir, and I came to acquaint you with the matter. I'm given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath the disposition to come in disguise against me to try a fall.
I tell thee, Charles, I had as lief cast out break his neck as his finger.
I am heartily glad I came hitherto. If he come tomorrow, I'll give him his payment.
Farewell, good Charles. Now stir this game, sir. I hope to see an end to him. For my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than he. Yet he is gentle, never schooled, yet learned, full of noble device, of all sorts enchantingly beloved. But it shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all. Nothing remains but that I go kindle the boy thither, which now I'll go about.
I pray thee, Rosalind, sweet my cousin, be merry.
Dear Celia, unless you can teach me to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. My uncle, thy banished father, had banished thy uncle, the Duke, my father. So thou hadst been still with me. I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine.
I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my father hath no child but I, nor none is like to have. And truly, when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. For what he hath taken away from thy father perforce, I shall render thee again in affection. Therefore, my dear Rose, my sweet Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, coz. What shall be our sport?
Let us sit and mock the good housewife Fortune from her wheel, that her gifts may henceforth be bestowed equally.
I would we could do so, for her benefits are mightily misplaced, and the bountiful blind woman doth most mistake in her gifts to women.
'Tis true, for though she makes fair, she scarce makes honest, and though she makes honest, she makes very ill-favoredly.
Nay, now thou goest from Fortune's office to Nature's. Fortune reigns in the gifts to the world, not in the lineaments of nature.
No, when nature hath made a fair creature, may she not by fortune fall into the fire? Though nature hath given us wit to flat up fortune, hath not fortune sent in this fool to cut off the argument?
Indeed, there is fortune too hard for nature, when fortune makes nature's natural the cutter off of nature's wit.
Peradventure, this is not fortune's work neither, but nature's, who perceiveth our natural wits too dull to reason of such goddesses, and hath sent this fool to cut off the argument.
Indeed,
There is fortune.
there is fortune too hard for nature, when fortune makes nature's natural the cutter off of nature's wit.
Peradventure this is not fortune's work neither, but nature's. Perceiveth our natural wits too dull to reason of such goddesses, and hath sent in this fool to cut off the argument. For always the dullness of the fool is the whetstone of the wits. How now, wit, whither wander you?
Mistress, you must come away to your father.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor, but I was bid to come for you.
Where learned you that oath, fool?
Of a certain knight that swore by his honor that they were good pancakes, and swore by his honor that the mustard was not. Now I'll stand to it. They were good pancakes, and the mustard was nothing. And yet, not was this knight forsworn.
How prove you that in the great heap of your knowledge?
Marry, now unmuzzle your wisdom.
Stand you both forth now, stroke your chins, and swear by your beards that I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou wert.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that that is not, you are not forsworn. No more than was this knight, swearing by his honor, for he never had any. Or if he had sworn it all away before he ever saw those pancakes or that mustard.
Prithee, who is it thou meanest?
One little Frederick your father loves.
My father's love is enough to honor him. Enough, speak no more of him. You'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
The more's pity that fools may not do wisely, but wise men do foolishly.
By my troth, thou sayest true. For the little wit that fools have with silence, the little foolery that wise men have makes a great show. Here comes Monsieur Lebeau. Bonjour, Monsieur Lebeau. What's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
What is the sport, monsieur, that the ladies have lost?
I will tell you the beginning, and if you please, your ladyships, you may see the end. For the best is yet to do, and here, where you are, they are coming to performance. There comes an old man, and 3 of his sons, 3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence. The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, the Duke's wrestler, and in a moment fell through him and broke 3 of his ribs, that there is little hope of life left in him. And so he served the second, and so the third. Yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them. The elderly brothers take his part with weeping. Alas!
Thus, men make her wiser every day. 'Tis the first ever I heard of breaking ribs as a sport for ladies.
Or I promise thee.
But does any else long to see this broken music in the sides? Is there yet another jokes upon rib breaking? Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
You must if you stay here, for this is the place appointed for the wrestling, and they are ready to perform it.
Come on, since the youth will not be entreated, his own peril on his forwardness.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, madam.
He is too young, yet he looks successfully. How now, daughter and cousin? Are you crept hither to see the wrestling?
Aye, my liege, so please you give us leave.
You will take little delight in it, I can tell you. There is such odds in the man. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him. Call him hither, good Monsieur Lebeau.
Monsieur, the challenger, the princess calls for you.
I attend them with all respect and duty.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, fair princess, he is the general challenger. I come but in, as others do, to try within the strength of my youth.
Young gentlemen, your spirits are too bold for your years. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Indeed, your reputation will not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, but let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial. I shall do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament me, the world no injury. For in it I have nothing. Only in the world I fill up a place, which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
What little strength I have, I would it were with you.
And mine, to be deferred.
Fare you well, for heavens I be deceived in you.
Your heart's desire be with you.
Come, where is this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother earth?
Ready, sir, but his will hath hindered a more modest working.
You shall try but one fall.
No, I warrant you, grace, you shall not entreat him to a second that so mightily persuaded him from a first.
And you mean to mock me after? You should not have mocked me before, but come thy ways.
Now Hercules be thy speed, young man.
Oh, I would I were invisible to catch the strong fellow by the leg.
Yes, I beseech your grace, for I am not yet well breathed.
How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lord.
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, the youngest son of Sir Roland de Boys.
I would thou hadst been son to some man else. The world esteemed thy father honorable, but I did find him still mine enemy. Thou shouldst have better pleased me with this deed, hadst thou descended from another house. But fare thee well, thou art a gallant youth. I would that thou hadst told me of another father.
I am more proud to be Sir Roland's son, his youngest son, and would not change that calling to be adopted heir to Frederick.
My father loved Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world is of my father's mind. Had I known this young man to be his son, I would have given him tears and two entreaties, ere he should thus have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank and encourage him. My father's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved. If you do keep your promise in love, but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentlemen, wear this from me, as one out of suited fortune, that could give more, but her hand lacks means. Shall we go, Pat?
Aye, fare you well, fair gentlemen.
Can I not say, I thank you?
He calls us back, but my pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he will. Sir, did you call? You have wrestled well and overthrown more than your enemies.
Will you go, coz?
Have with you.
What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, yet she urges conference. Oh, poor Orlando, thou art overthrown.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place. Albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause, and love. But such is now the Duke's condition, he misconstrues all that you have done. The Duke is humorous, what he is indeed. More suits you to conceive than I to speak of.
I thank you, sir, and pray you, tell me this. Which of the two was daughter of the Duke that here was at the wrestling?
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners, and yet the lesser is his daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke, detained here by her usurping uncle, to keep his daughter company, whose daughter's dear than
Whose loves?
whose loves is dear than the natural bonds of sisters.
But I can tell you.
But I can tell you that of late this Duke hath ta'en displeasure against his gentle niece, ground upon no other argument but that the people praise her for her virtues, and pity her for her good father's sake. And on my life, his malice against the lady will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare you well. Hereafter in a better world than this, I shall desire more love and knowledge with you.
I rest much bound unto you, fare you well. Thus must I from a smoke to a smother, to tyrant Duke, to tyrant brother. But oh, heavenly Rosalind.
Why, Rosalind, Cupid have mercy, not a word.
Not one to throw at a dog.
No, thy words are too precious to cast away upon hers. Throw some at me, lame me with reason.
Then there were two cousins laid up, when one should be lame with reason, and the other mad without any.
But is this all for your father?
No, some of it is for my child's father.
Come, wrestle with thy affections. Is it possible, on such a sudden, you should fall into such strong liking with Sir Roland's youngest son?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Does it therefore ensue that you should love his son dearly? By this kind of chase, I should hate him. For my father hated his father dearly. Yet I hate not Orlando.
No, faith, hate him not, for my sake.
Doth he not deserve well? Why should I not?
Do you love him because I do? Look, here comes the Duke.
With his eyes full of anger. Mistress, dispatch you with safest haste, and get you from our court.
Me, uncle?
You, cousin. Within these 10 days, if thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace. Let me the knowledge of my fault bear with me.
Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me a traitor.
Thou art thy father's daughter. There's enough.
So was I when your highness took your dukedom. So was I when you banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak. I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young at the time to value her. Yet now I know her. If she be a traitor, why so am I. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom, which I have passed upon her. She is banished. Pronounce that sentence upon me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company. You are a fool. You, niece, if you outstay the time, upon mine honor and in the greatness of my word, you die. Oh, my poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change fathers? I shall give thee mine. I charge thee, be not more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
No, thou hast not. Knowest thou not the Duke hath banished me, his daughter?
That he hath not.
No, hath not? Rosalind lacks then the love which teacheth her that thou and I are one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No. Let my father seek out another heir. Devise with me the way which we may fly. Say what thou canst, I'll go along with thee.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger it will be to us, maids as we are, to travel forth so far.
I shall put myself in poor and mean attire, the likes to you. So we shall pass along and never stir assailants.
Would it not be better, because that I am more than common tall, to suit me all points like a man?
What shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page. Therefore, look you call me Ganymede. But what will you be called?
Something that hath reference to my state. No longer Celia, but Oleana.
But what if we essayed to steal the clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travels?
He may go along o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Devise the fittest time, the safest way, to hide us from the pursuit that will be made after our flight. Now, together? Now shall we go? Gather our jewels and our wealth together. To liberty and not to banishment.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile. Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of tainted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we go and kill us venison? Yet it irks me, the poor dappled fools in their own confines, with forked heads to have the round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord, the melancholy Jacques grieves at that. Today we did steal upon him as he lay along, under an oak tree whose antique roots he sat, upon the brook that brawls along this wood, to the which place the poor sequestered stag from the hunter's aim had ta'en a hurt, in piteous chase, and thus the hairy fool, much marked of the melancholy Jacques, stood on the extremest verge of the swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
But what said Jacques? Did he not moralize this spectacle?
Oh yes, into 1,000 similes. Thus most invectively he pierced through the body of country, city, court. Yea, and of this our lives, swearing that we are neither usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, we fright the animals and kill them up, and their assigned and native dwelling place.
And did you leave him in this contemplation?
We did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the sobbing deer.
Show me the place. I'd love to cope him in these solemn fits, for then he's full of matter.
I'll bring you to him straight.
Can it be possible that no man saw him? It cannot be. Some villains in my court are of consent and suffering.
I cannot hear of any that did see her. The lady, for attendance of her chamber, saw her abed, and in the morning early found the bed unchartered by the mistress. And the boyish clown, at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh, is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confessed you secretly o'erheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler, and she believes, wherever they have gone, that youth is surely of their company.
Send to his brother. Fetch that gallant hither. If he be absent, bring his brother to me. I'll make him find him. Do this suddenly, and let not search and inquisition quail, to bring again these foolish runaways.
Who's there?
What? My young master? Oh, my gentle master, no, you're not master to some kind of men. Their graces serve them but as enemies. No more do yours, your virtues, gentle master, are sanctified and holy virtues to you. Oh, what a world is this, when what is comely envenoms him that bears it.
Why, what's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth, come not within these doors, within this roof. The enemy of all your graces lives. This night means to burn the lodging of where you used to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off. I overheard him in his practices. This is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it, and do not enter it.
Why, whither, Adam, wouldst thou have me go?
But do not so. I have 500 crowns to thrifty hire, that I saved under your father. All this I give to you. Let me be your servant. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty, and can do the services of a young man in all your business and necessities.
Oh, good old man, how willing thee appears, the constant service of the antique world. But poor old man, thou prunest a rotten tree, that cannot so much as a blossom yield. But come thy ways, we'll go along together, we'll light upon some settled low content.
Go on, master, and I will follow thee to the last gasp with truth and loyalty.
Oh, Jupiter, how weary are my spirits. I care not for my spirits, if only my legs were not so weary. I could find it in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and cry with a woman.
I pray you bear with me. I cannot go any further.
For my part, I'd rather bear with you than bear you.
Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Aye, now I am in Arden. The more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
Aye, be so good, Touchstone.
Look you, who comes here? An old man.
I pray you, one of you question yon man. For a fee for gold would give us food. I faint almost to death.
Hola, you clown!
Peace, fool. He's not thy kinsman.
Who calls? Your betters, sir.
Else are they very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, friend.
And to you, gentle sir, and to you all.
I prithee, shepherd, that if love or gold could in this desert place buy entertainment, bring us somewhere where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here's a young maid with travel much oppressed, who faints for succor.
Fair sir, I pity her, and wish for her sake more than for my own, my fortune were more able to relieve her. But I am shepherd to another man, whose coat, flocks, and feet are now on sale.
I pray thee, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, pasture, and the farm, and thou shalt have to pay for it.
And we shall mend thy wages. Thy life is placed, and willingly could waste my time in it.
Assuredly the thing is to be sold. Go with me. If you like upon report, the soil, the profit, and this kind of life, I will your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here I lie down and measure out my grave.
Why, how now, Adam, no greater heart in thee? If this uncouth forest yield anything savage, I will either be food for it or bring it food for thee. Thou shalt not die for lack of a dinner, if there live anything in this forest. Cheerly, good Adam.
I think he be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him like a man.
My lord, he is but even now gone hence. Here was he married, hearing of the song.
If he compact his jaws grow musical, there will be shortly discord in the spheres. Go, seek him, tell him I would speak with him.
My lord, he saves his labor. He saves my labor by his own approach.
Why, how now, monsieur? What a life this is, that your poor friends must rue your company. What? You look merrily.
A fool, a fool. I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool, a miserable rogue. As I do live by food, I met a fool, who laid him down and basked him in the sun, and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool, till heaven has sent me fortune.
What fool is this?
Oh, worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier. Oh, that I were a fool, I am ambitious for motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
'Tis my only suit, provided that you lead your better judgments of all opinion that grow rank in the truth. That I am wise. I must have liberty to go on whom I please, for so fools have. Invest me in my motley, and give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine.
Fie on thee, I could tell what thou wouldst do.
What for a counter? Would I do but good? But who comes here?
Forbear and eat no more,
Why, I have eaten none yet.
nor shall not till necessity be served.
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I almost die for food. Let me have it.
Art thou thus boldened, man, by thy distress, or else a rude despiser of good manners, that in civility thou seemst so empty?
Speak you so gently? Pardon me. I thought that all things had been savage here. Therefore, put I on the countenance of stern commandment. But where you are, let gentleness my strong enforcement be. In the which hope I blush and hide my sword.
True is it? True is it that we have seen better days. Therefore, sit you down in gentleness.
Then forbear your food a little while. Whiles like I do, I go to find my fawn and give it food. There is an old man in the forest who after me hath taken many a weary step, till he be first sufficed, oppressed with two weak evils, age and hunger. I will not touch a bit.
Sit. Go find him out. Go find him out, and we will nothing waste till you return.
I thank you, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest, we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theatre presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play in.
All the world's a stage. And all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Then, the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shiny morning face, creeping like snail, unwillingly to school. Then the lover, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, and seeking above a reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good paven line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. Last scene of all, that ends this strange eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome. Set down your vulnerable burden and let him feed. I thank you. Orlando.
Well, I thank you most for him.
So had you need, I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome. Welcome. Thou fall to. Fall to. We will not trouble you, as yet to question you about your fortunes. Give us some music, and, good cousin, sing. lord, the good Sir Roland's son, be truly welcome hither. I am the duke that loves so well your father.
Good old man.
Good old man.
Thou art right welcome.
Thou art right welcome as thy master is. Support him by the arm. Take my hand, and let me all your fortunes understand.
Maxian says, Sir, sir, this cannot be. Find out thy brother wheresoe'er he is. Seek him with candle, bring him dead or living. Within this 12 months, or turn thou no more to seek a living in our territory.
Oh, that your highness knew my heart in this. I never loved my brother in my life.
More villain now. Well, push him out of doors, and let thy officers of such a nature make an extent upon his house and land. Do this expediently, and turn him going.
Hang there my verse, in witness of my love, and thou, thrice-crowned queen of night, survey, with thy chaste eye and thy pale from thy pale sphere above. O Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their barks my thoughts I'll character, that every eye in which this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree the fair, the chaste, and unexpressive she.
And how like you the shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Truly, shepherd, in respect of so, it is a good life. But in respect that it is a shepherd's life, it is not. In respect that it is solitary, I like it very well. But in respect that it is private, it is a very vile life. Ask me any philosophy of thee, shepherd.
Sir, I am a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear, owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness, glad of other man's good, content with my harm, and the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suffer. Here comes young Master Ganymede, my new mistress's brother.
From the east to the western end, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind, through all the world bears Rosalind. Of all the pictures fairest lines are but black to Rosaline. Let no fair be kept in mind, but the fair of Rosaline.
Truly, this is a very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peaceful, I found them on a tree.
Truly, the tree yields bad fruit.
Look, here comes my sister reading. Stand aside.
Thus Rosalind of many parts, by heavenly sinners was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts. The heaven would these gifts should have, and I to live and die her lady.
Oh, most gentle pulpito, what tedious homiling of love do you weary your parishioners with, and never cry, have patience, good people.
How now? Background. Shepherd, go off a little. Sir, go with him.
Come, shepherds, let us make an honorable retreat.
Didst thou hear these verses?
Oh yes, I heard them all, and more too, for some of them had in them more feet than the verses could bear.
'Tis no matter. The feet might bear the verses.
Aye, but the feet were lame, and could not bear without the verse, so therefore stood lamely in the verse.
Show you who has done this.
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change you color?
I prithee, who?
It is young Orlando, who tripped up the rustler's heels, and your heart invoked an instant.
May the devil take mocking. Beats that brown true maid.
I think, 'tis he.
Orlando?
Orlando.
Alas the day! But what shall I do with my doublet and harness? What did he when thou sawest him? What said he? How looked he? What made him here? Did he ask for me? Where remains he? How parted he with thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
You must borrow me gargantua's mouth first. It is a word too great for any mouth this age of size.
But doth he know that I am in this forest and in man's apparel?
Soft, comes he not here?
'Tis he, slink by, I note him.
I thank you for your company, but, good faith, I had his leave. I've been myself alone.
And so had I, but yet for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
Then God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do desire we may be better strangers.
I pray you, mar no more trees with writing love songs in their bark.
I pray you, mar no more my verses with reading them ill-favoredly.
Rosalind is your love name?
Yes, just.
I do not like your name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
You are full of pretty answers. I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure. Farewell, Signor Melancholy.
I will speak to him like a saucy lassie, and under that habit play the maid. Do you hear, Forester?
Very well. Would you? Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With this shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat. There is a man haunts these woods, and abuses our young plants, carving roslins into their barks. If I could meet this fancy mocker, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
I am that he that is so love-shaped. Please, tell me your remedy.
There are none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me how to know a man in love.
Fair youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it? You may as soon make her that you love believe it. But, in good sooth, are you he that hangs the verses on trees, wherein Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, youth, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
And are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
I would cure you, if you would but call me Rosalind, and come every day to my coat and woo me.
With no less religion than if thou wert indeed my Rosalind.
Come, sister, will you go?
Very well, fair gentlemen.
Never talk to me. I will weep.
Do yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But have I not cause to weep?
As good a cause as one would desire, therefore weep.
But why did he say he would come this morning and comes not?
Nay, certainly there is no truth in him.
Not true in love?
Yes, when he is in, but I think he is not in.
You have heard him swear downright he was.
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely. But all's brave youth masks in solid guise. Who comes here?
I prithee, pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with you.
They say you are a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laughing.
Those that are an extremity of either are abominable fellows.
Why, 'tis good to be sad, and say nothing.
Why then, 'tis good to be a post.
I have neither the scholar's melancholy, nor the musician's, nor the lover's, nor the soldier's, but it is a melancholy of mine own, compounded from many simples, extracted from many objects, and indeed the sundry's contemplation of my travels, in which my often rumination wraps me in a most humorous sadness.
A traveler! By my faith, you have great reason to be sad. I fear you have given up your lands to see other men's. Then to have seen much and to have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands.
Yes, I have gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I would rather have a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad. And to travel for it, too.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
Nay then, goodbye you. And you talk in blank verse.
Farewell, Monsieur Melancholy. Why, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You, a lover, and you serve me such another trick? Never come in my sight more.
Fair Rosalind, I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love?
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Come, woo me, for now I'm in a holiday humor, and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now, and I were your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss before I spoke.
Nay, you would better speak first, and when you have grappled for lack of matter, you may take occasion to kiss.
How if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you into entreaty, and there begins new matter.
I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind, for I protest her frown might kill me.
By my life, it will not kill a thing. But come now, I will be your Rosalind in a more coming-on disposition, and ask me what you will. I will grant it.
Then love me, Rosalind.
So will I, Fridays and Saturdays and all.
And wilt thou have me?
Aye, and 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Why then, can one desire too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando. What do you say, sister?
I cannot say the words.
Come, you must begin.
Don't
Will you,
you?
Orlando?
Will you, Orlando, take to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
Aye, but when?
Why now, as fast as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I might ask for your commission, but I too take thee, Orlando, for my husband. Certainly a girl goes before the priest, but a woman's thoughts run before her actions.
So do all thoughts. They are winged.
Now tell me, how long would you have her after you have possessed her?
Forever and a day.
Say the day without the ever. No, Orlando. Men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives.
But But will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I do.
Fair Rosalind, I must leave thee. For these 2 hours I must leave thee.
Oh, dear love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must bid the Duke at dinner. In 2 hours I will be with thee again.
Aye, go your ways, go your ways. 2 o'clock is your hour?
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
By my troth, if you break one jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, and the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of her you call Rosalind. So beware my censure, and keep your promise.
With no less religion than if thou wert indeed my Rosalind. So adieu.
Adieu.
You have simply misused our sex in your love parade. We must have your doublet and your hose flopped over your head and show the world what the bird hath done to her own nest.
Oh, coz, my pretty little coz, if thou didst know how many fathom deep I am in love. But it cannot be sounded. My affection hath an unknown bottom, like the bay of Portugal.
Or rather, bottomless. As fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
Oh, Aliena, I cannot be out of sight of Orlando. I will go find the shadows, and sighs they'll become.
And I'll sleep.
Good to see. That killed the deer.
Sir, it was I.
Let's present him to the Duke like an elder hunter. And it would do well to set the deer's horns upon his head for a branch of victory. Have you no song, forester, for this purpose?
Yes, sir.
Then sing it. Tis no matter how it be in tune, so it make noise enough.
Good morrow, fair ones. Pray, if you know where the purlieus of this forest stands, a sheep-cote fence about with olive trees.
West of this place, down by the neighbor bottom, the ranks of the osiers by the murmuring stream, the left on your right-hand side brings you to the place. But there's none within. The house does keep itself at this hour.
Are you not the owner of the house I did inquire for?
It is not a boast being asked to say that we are.
Orlando doth commend him to you both, and to the youth he calls Rosalind he sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am. What must we understand by this?
Some of my shame, if you know me well, and who I am, and why, and where this handkerchief was stained.
I pray you, tell it.
When last the young Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again. Within an hour, in pacing through the forest, he saw a wretched man, o'ergrown with hair, lay sleeping on his back. Around his neck a green and gilded snake had wreathed itself. Seeing Orlando, it unlinked itself, and with intended glide did slip away into a bush. And under bush's shade, a lioness, with others all drawn dry, lay crouching, head on ground, cat-like watch. This seen, Orlando did approach the man, and saw that it was his brother, his elder brother.
Oh, I have heard of him speak of that same brother. He did render him the most unnatural that ever lived amongst men.
And well he might do so, for I know well he was unnatural.
But to Orlando, did he leave him there, food to the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice did he turn his back, and purpose so. But kindness of nature made him give battle to the lioness, who quickly fell before him, from which hurtling from miserable slumber I awakened.
Are you his brother?
Was you he rescued?
Was you who did so oft contrive to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you what I was, since my conversion, so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But for the bloody napkin?
By and by. In brief, he led me to the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, committing me into my brother's love. They led me instantly into his cave, to strip himself, and here upon his arm the lioness had torn some flesh away, and all this while had blooded. And now he had fainted, and cried in fainting upon Rosalind. He sent me hither, stranger as I am, to tell this story, that you might excuse his broken promise, and to give this napkin dyed in his blood unto the youth that he in sport doth call his Rosalind.
Oh, Rosalind! Ah! Ganymede! Sweet cousin Ganymede!
Many will swoon when they look upon blood.
There's more in it. Cousin Ganymede!
Look, he recovers.
I would I were at home. We'll lead you thither. Good sir, take him by the arm.
Take good cheer, youth. You, a man, you lack a man's heart.
I do so, I confess it.
Well, take good heart and counterfeit to be a man.
So I do, but I should have been a woman by right.
Pray you, draw homewards. You look paler and paler. Good sir, go with us.
That will I, for I must bear answer back. How you excuse my brother, Rosalind?
I shall devise something, but I pray you, commend my counterfeiting to him.
Is it possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her, that but seeing you should love her, and loving woo and wooing she should grant, and will you persevere to enjoy her?
I love Aliena. Consent with us that we may enjoy each other. It shall be to your good, for in my father's house and all the revenue of old Sirolin will I estate upon you, and here live and die a shepherd.
You have my consent. Let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke and all his contented followers. Go you and prepare Aliena, for look, here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thee wear thy heart in a scarf.
It is my arm.
I thought thy heart was wounded by the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how I counterfeited to swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
I know where you are. For your brother and my sister no sooner met, but they looked. No sooner looked, but they loved. No sooner loved, but they sighed. No sooner sighed, but they asked one another the reason. No sooner knew the reason, but they sought the remedy. And in these degrees they have built a pair of stairs to marriage which they will climb.
How it grieves me. Oh, what a bitter thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes.
Well then, tomorrow can I not serve your turn for Rosalind?
I can no longer live by thinking.
Well then, I will weary you no longer with idle talking. If you do love Rosalind so near the heart as your gesture cries out, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her?
Speakest thou in sober meaning?
By my life, I do. Therefore, put you in your best array. Bid all your friends, for if you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind, if you will.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all that he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe, and sometimes do not. As those that hope they fear, and those that know they fear.
Patience once more, whilst our compact is urged. You say, if I bring in your Rosalind, you will bestow her on Orlando here?
I would, had I kingdoms to give with her.
And you say you will receive her when I bring her?
I would, were I of all kingdoms king.
Well, I have promised to make all these matters even. Keep you your word, O Duke, to give your daughter, and you yours, Orlando, to receive his daughter. From hence I go to make these doubts all even.
I do remember in the shepherd boy some lovely touches in my daughter's favor.
My lord, the first time I ever saw him, methought he was a brother to your daughter.
Here comes a very strange beast, which in all tongues is called fool.
Salutations and greetings to you all.
Good my lord, bid him welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman I so often met in the forest. He hath been a courtier, he swears.
And if any man doubt that, let me put him to my purgation. I have trod a measure. I have flattered a lady.
And how is that taken up?
I put him here, sir, amongst these country captives, to swear and to forswear, according to his marriage binds and blood breaks, for which honesty dwells, like a miser, sir, in a poorhouse, as the pearl in your foul oyster.
By my faith. By my faith, she is very swift and sententious.
Is not this a rare fellow, my lord? He's as good at anything, and yet a fool.
He uses his folly like a stalking horse, and under the presentation of that he shoots his wit.
Then there is mirth in heaven, when earthly things
Duke, receive thy daughter. Hymen from heaven brought her, yea, brought her hither, that thou mightest join her hand with his, whose heart within his bosom is.
To you I give myself, for I am yours. To you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
I'll have no father if you be not he, and I'll have no husband if you be not he.
Peace ho, I bar confusion, that I must make conclusion. Of these most strange events, here's four that must take hands, and join in Hymen's bands. If truth holds true contents, you and you no cross shall part. You and you are heart in heart. Whiles a wedlock hymn we sing, feed yourselves with questioning, that reason wonder may diminish, how thus we met, and these things finish.
Wedding is strange to those crowned, oh blessed fund of board and bed. 'Tis time and peoples every town, by wedlock and the honor read. Honor I honor and renown to Hymen, God of every town.
O my dear niece, welcome thou art to me. O my daughter, welcome in no less degree.
Let me have audience for a word or two. I am the second son of Sir Roland that bring these tidings to this fair assembly. Duke Frederick, hearing how that every day men of great worth resort to this forest, addressed the mighty power which were on foot in his own conduct, purposely to take his brother here and put him to the sword. And to the skirts of this wild wood he came, where meeting with an old religious man, after some question with him was converted, both from his enterprise and from the world, his crown bequeathing to his banished brother, and all their lands restored to them again that were with him exiled. This to be true, I do engage my life.
Sir, by your patience, if I heard you rightly, the Duke hath gone a religious life, and thrown into neglect the pompous court.
He hath.
To him will I. Out of these convertites, there is much matter to be heard and learned. You to your former honor I bequeath, your patience and virtue well deserves it. You to a love that your true faith doth merit. You to your land and love and great allies, and you to your motley. So to your pleasures I am for other than for dancing measures.
Stay, Jaques, stay.
To see no pastime I what you would have, I'll stay to know at your abandoned gate.
Proceed, proceed. We will begin these rites as we trust they'll end in true delights.
Woman, I would kiss as many a
had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and breasts I defied not. And I'm sure, as many of you as had good breaths, or good faces, or sweet complexions, will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.